The next room was roughly the same width, though much longer. I couldn't tell exactly how long, as a black curtain separated us from the rest of the space. The walls were made from the same stone as the previous rooms, with the exception of the dirt floor. The ceiling was once again obscured by darkness. I wasn't sure if it was just too high up to see, or if there was some sort of spell concealing it. I tried using the telescopic sight from my hat, but it made no difference. Olaf's new goggles returned the same result. In the center of the room, extending into the distance, there was a wooden fence that came up to my chin.
"So, what do we got here? Rodeo? Or do we have to hop this here fence and get our lost ball from the mean dog next door?"
Alesia gave the fence an experimental shake, and it barely moved.
"If it's the former, I call rodeo clown. If it's the latter, not it."
The voice cleared its throat again. Hearkening back to the days when our elven kin were not as focused on looks, and we lived on the surface in harmony with them, our favorite pastime was the joust, a sport that is still beloved by many dirt elves of the noble class. It would likely be our top sport, if not for the prohibitive cost of building long rooms to host such matches, and the difficulty in maintaining the health of the traditional mounts for the activity in a subterranean setting. A horse appeared in a puff of smoke next to us, along with 3 lances on the wall next to it. The elaborately decorated saddle, bridle, and barding were a stark contrast to the bony, forlorn mount underneath. I put one hand behind its neck to pet it, and it began to shake.
"So, you're saying we have to win a jousting match to proceed?"
I yelled at the ceiling. "Winning isn't everything," the voice said.
"Are you saying we need to do something besides win, or that we do need to win?" I asked.
Dirt elf jousting matches, unlike those favored by the surface elves, are by a single fall, the voice said. Once one opponent hits the ground, the match is over.
"Good God," Alesia said. "This guy's just like my ex-boyfriend. Every answer's a new question. Hey, ominous voice guy, what's 2 plus 2?
The number 2, along with all modern numbers besides 0, is said to have been invented by the Dwelgen, the race from which the modern dwarf, gnome, and elf are said to descend from.
If a tree falls on a Dwelgen and kills him with nobody else around, does he make a sound?"
The Dwelgen language has been lost to time. I reached up and covered Alesia's mouth.
"So, we just have to knock our opponent off his mount then?" I asked.
It is considered a forfeit if a jouster does not climb on his mount within 5 minutes of entering the field of play. Alesia put both hands on the horse's back and raised her leg to begin mounting. Her big smile told me she'd mostly forgiven me, and with doubts creeping back into my head, it was definitely in our best interest to let her handle this challenge. However, as she sat down, the emaciated horse began to sag. With the greatest reluctance, I pulled her back right before its legs buckled. "Sorry, Alesia, but I'm going to have to do this one. You're too heavy." Alesia turned around and stared at me in exaggerated horror. "I'm a size 0, and you're what, a size 10? She pinched my belly. While I wasn't sure exactly what my avatar weighed, since the only weight info on my character sheet was for my equipment and what I was carrying, with our over 1 foot height difference, I was pretty sure I weighed quite a bit less than her. I could feel the tingle of her using inspect on me. "That is a very bad idea, Horus," Alesia said. "Very bad indeed. This should definitely go to the person who has the riding skill, a skill you just so happen to not have learned."
"That is actually a good point,"
Olaf said. I reluctantly acquiesced. Even 1 point in riding would make a huge difference. I wondered how high she was now, so I used inspect on her. "Hey, you don't have riding either," I said. Alesia giggled and backed away. "I guess it's up to you, Mr. Bossy Man."